Hello. Today we have a 20-minute yoga flow, and if you're looking at the video and you're confused because my words are not matching up with the video, it is because I had to do a voiceover yet again. I thought the construction noise from my neighbor's unit was quiet enough, but you could hear it pretty much all throughout the video, so here I am doing another voiceover. So we'll go ahead and begin today by laying flat on our back. Just begin by checking in, taking a few nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Perhaps bring your arms above your head, really stretch out in all directions. Nod your head back and forth, give yourself a little skull massage. Then go ahead and slightly engage your core and bring your right knee in toward your chest. Keeping the feet flexed, the left hip on the ground. Slowly begin to draw your right knee in toward your chest. Maybe it feels good to rock it back and forth, finding some movement in this position, or bringing your right knee over towards your armpit, lengthening that inner thigh even more. One more breath here, and then go ahead and drop that right foot to the ground. Move your hips over to the right, and then guide your right knee over towards the left, creating a twist in the spine. Do your best to keep both shoulder blades on the ground here. Back out of this pose if you are feeling any discomfort in your low back. It's easier on the back when you move the hips over towards the right or the left before you twist. In this case, because we're using the right leg, we moved the hips over towards the right before we entered our twist. And slowly back out of that pose. Center the hips, bring the left knee in toward the chest, extend the right leg out long, repeating the same thing on the other side, keeping your feet flexed here. Breathing deep into the stomach, really stimulating the internal organs, the digestive system particularly. Dropping that left foot down to the ground, lifting the hips, moving them to the left, and then guiding the left knee over toward the right. Do your best, of course, to keep your shoulder blades on the ground and not create any uncomfort or discomfort in the lower back. Go ahead and slowly unwind here, centering your hips once again, bringing both knees in towards the chest this time. Grabbing your knees with your hands and drawing circles with the knees if that feels good, giving your low back a little massage here. One direction and then the other. Go ahead and find your way up towards a seated position, and then we will meet in table. Go ahead and bring your knees wider than your hips, your toes to touch, and sit your seat back toward your heels. Walking your hands out long, entering extended child's pose. Bringing your forehead down towards the mat. And if it touches, perhaps rocking back and forth, massaging your forehead. Feels better than you may think. Pressing into the hands, take your right hand, thread it underneath your left arm, and come to rest on the right side of your head. You could also do this thread the needle pose from tabletop. I really like this pose in extended child's pose, but to each their own, of course. Going and switching sides, extending your right arm out long again, threading your left underneath your right, and breathing. Always remember to breathe. Extending your left arm out long now. Let's go ahead and transition. Bring your hands in toward your seat, keeping the knees wider than the hips, and do some cat-cow motions here, pressing the ground away as you curve your upper spine. Bringing the chest then through the arms, expanding your heart area. Breathing out as you curve and cave in. Breathing in as you bring your chest forward, shining your heart. And repeating at the pace of your own breath. Using the whole length of your exhale to curve, to round, and the whole length of your inhale to bring your chest forward, looking up towards the ceiling perhaps. Staying in one position if it feels good, to really stretch out that upper back or perhaps stretch out that chest. Feel free. And here we are joined with her own little puppy posture by Hazel. Go ahead now and lean forward kind of into your wrists, stretching out the wrists. And then we will meet in a neutral tabletop position. Bring your knees underneath your hips, your heels in line with your knees, and we'll do that cat-cow motion again. Exhaling to round the spine, inhaling to look forward, bringing the chest down toward the floor. Finding a neutral tabletop position here, go ahead and step the right foot in between the hands and come up to a low lunge. Keep this a short distance low lunge so your hip is over your knee. Nice 90-degree angles in those knees. Inhale to bring the arms up overhead. Bringing the arms up overhead on its own is already going to allow you to feel it in that left hip flexor. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, slightly tuck of the pelvis, and engage the core. You could always double up your mat if your knees are feeling it. Go ahead and frame your foot with your hands. Curl the back toes under, lift the knee, and extend the right hand up toward the ceiling. Perhaps you have to walk your front foot forward a little bit. Totally fine. Just find that beautiful alignment of front knee over front heel. Nice engagement of the left quad, the front of the thigh. Go ahead and frame your foot once again with your hands. Lower the back knee and send the seat back, extending that front leg. Coming into our nice half splits position, hamstring stretch. Flex that right foot towards the ceiling and feel free to add a twist in here as well, extending your right arm up toward the ceiling. Try to keep your hips level here on the same plane. And go ahead and frame your leg, bend that front knee, and step it back into a plank. Exhale, downward facing dog, bending one knee and then the other. Noticing the difference in flexibility between your legs at this point. Just becoming mindful. Up onto the tippy toes. Drop the heels over towards the right so you're on the outside of the right foot, inside of the left foot. Feel that beautiful stretch in the side body. Back up onto the tippy toes. Lower the heels. Enjoy this down dog. Lift the right foot up toward the ceiling. Push the ground away with your hands as you exhale and draw your right knee in towards your chest and hover. Hold here for a moment. We're going to go into fallen triangle. So we're going to extend the right leg underneath us, just like we did in our thread the needle pose with our arms. Just feel free now to take the left arm up towards the ceiling, completing this pose. Pressing into the whole right hand, not just where the wrist meets the ground. Drop the left arm back down, step back into a downward facing dog. Beautiful. Come to plank, lower the knees, and come off the wrists for a moment into this beautiful upper back stretch here. Child's pose. Just taking a moment to reset. All right, let's meet back in tabletop. Step that left foot in between the hands, coming into our low lunge on this side. Inhale the arms out and up. Slight tuck of the pelvis here, core engagement. Nice 90-degree angles in the legs, and keep your hips level. Don't let your left hip come high up and your higher than your right hip. Feel free, of course, if you'd like a little more, to begin to lunge forward. Frame the foot with the hands, curl the back toes under, lift the right knee, and then lift that left arm up towards the sky. Twisted lunge. Really engage that right quad, the front of the right thigh. And frame the foot again, lower the back knee, uncurl the back toes. Perhaps if you need to, step the left foot forward a little bit and come into your half splits. If you feel called to add a twist here, go ahead and take the left arm up toward the ceiling. Frame the leg, bend the front knee, curl the back toes under, lift that knee. Beautiful. From here, step that left foot back into a plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Enjoy. Come up onto the tippy toes, drop the heels over towards the left so you're on the outside edge of your left foot, inside edge of your right foot. Pressing the ground away, trying to keep the chest facing the mat. So you're not necessarily trying to open up the whole torso to the side. Returning to your down dog, lifting that left leg, bringing it in, hover, 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 strong core, stepping that left leg now through to a fallen triangle. And if feeling called to, once you feel stable here, lifting that right arm up toward the ceiling to complete the pose. Bringing the right arm back down, stepping that leg back into a plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lowering the knees down to the ground, swinging the legs out to the side, and let's come into a seated cross-legged position. Inhale the arms up, overhead. Exhale, twisting to the right, bringing your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you, sitting up nice and tall. Inhaling a little more, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, twisting a little more as long as it's safe. Slight engagement of the core here. Inhale the arms up overhead once again and twisting to the left this time, bringing your right hand to the outside of your left knee, your left hand behind you. Breathing deep. Inhale both hands up overhead. Extending the right leg out, keeping the left heel in toward the middle of the hips here. Taking your right arm, placing your forearm inside of the thigh, extending your left arm over, trying to reach those toes. Keep the right foot flexed here. Keep the quad engaged as well, keeping the knee facing the ceiling. Plant the left hand behind you, lift the hips into the air. Send the right arm towards the back wall, coming up onto your shin. and switching sides. Placing that left forearm on the inside of the left leg as you reach over with the right hand. Breathing deep. Placing the right hand behind you, lifting the hips up, sending the left hand back, lowering down, bringing that foot back into a nice seated position. It just felt so good to do a few cat-cow motions here, but of course, do as your body is calling for, perhaps doing some circles with the chest. And then neutralizing the spine here, bringing your palms together at the heart, bowing your head down towards your fingertips in honor of yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy that you showed up for yourself, showed up for this video. If you have any requests for yoga videos in the future, or just want to share what you thought of this, go ahead and drop those comments and suggestions down below. Like the video if you liked it, and I hope to see you again soon.